predict WrestleMania 42 way too early in advance. I'll do it after the Rumble too, but today, let's get started. I'll start with like the lower card. We're going to have the Lucha Brothers. That's Penta and Rey Fenix. I think they're going to unite. They are going to reunite at a Worlds Collide soon, so I think we just carry that into the tag team division, and I could see them facing the MFTs. Phoenix already has an issue with Solo Sikoa, so there we go. MFTs will eventually win the tag titles, and boom, you got yourselves a tag match for Mania. Chad Gable, I think Chad Gable returns, and he faces Grande Americano. Grande Americano is 1-0 at the Showcase of the Immortals. And even though Grande Americano has been around for a very long time, it was Chad Gable who brought him out of exile and into WWE. I think maybe when Chad Gable returns, he returns as a face, maybe? And he has a problem with Grande getting so much exposure while he was on the shelf. So I could see that being a very entertaining match right there. Does Grande Americano go 2-0 and start chasing that Undertaker undefeated streak? We shall see. I mean, the guy's been wrestling for many decades, so I doubt he'll have enough gas in the tank to get to 25, but you never know. Let's get somebody from NXT onto this card. Javon Evans. Are you feeling bouncy? Because I think Javon Evans versus Logan Paul, that has the makings of a spectacular viral event. I could see Javon versus Logan Paul. Book that. Let's see. LA Knight. Yeah, LA Knight. It was tough. It was tough to get him on the card. I would like him to have to be in the main event, but I don't see it happening. You know, I look at the facts. And I see them not doing it. Who else do they tend to disrespect a lot during this time of year? Drew McIntyre. So I think both of those two go into a program. And yeah, I wish we could give them more, but I'm not just telling you what I want to see. I'm telling you what I think will actually happen. So Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, they figure something out to make it happen. I mean, last year, what was Drew's real beef? He had with Damian Priest, not much. And then LA Knight the year before was with AJ Styles for no real reason other than, we need something to do. So Drew, LA Knight, they both probably will have nothing really to do. All right, next up, we're going back to NXT. Oba Femi has now entered the main roster. Not full-time yet, but I think by the time Royal Rumble is done, well, I think he will be full-time on main roster. I don't think we rocket ship him to the main event just yet. So let's give him a big juicy feud. I think Jacob Fatu right there, that would be a prospect. That would be two giants colliding. Now I think Oba Femi will be a babyface, and Drew and Jacob Fatu is a babyface, so I wonder how we will do that. But yeah, I could see both of those guys, kind of like we bill it as this is the future. This is very much a future main event of WrestleMania even type of matchup. We could also do Brock Lesnar versus Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker has been on the roster, but he's been touted as a WrestleMania 45 main eventer, so we got to start making that happen. Now, I could see somehow, some way, there's a conflict that spills out from the Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber even, where Braun Breaker's like, listen, I need to prove myself, and I'm proving it against Brock Lesnar. Honestly, I think Brock Lesnar doesn't have a lot of matches left in him. They've kind of alluded that this is his retirement year. So if WrestleMania is Brock's last match, it'll be against Gunther. All right? But I think his last match will be in his hometown of Indianapolis or wherever he's from. Wherever Brock is from, like his hometown, that's where SummerSlam is. So I think Gunther Brock at SummerSlam. Here, I think we put over Braun Breaker. And then let's just do Gunther real quick. Let's do Gunther. I considered giving him R-Truth, actually, because right now it looks like AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar are done this year if rumors are to be true. However, I think AJ Styles is going to go the full distance, and I just think that Brock will get to SummerSlam. Therefore, who else might retire? That would be, well, it would maybe R-Truth. Maybe R-Truth. If R-Truth retires, or even a returning Chris Jericho retires, then that's who I would put against Gunther. So anybody that's going to retire is going to go against Gunther. If Gunther is not going to retire anybody, we're going to the assumption that there's no retirement, I say Randy Orton. Gunther versus Randy Orton. Yes, they have fought twice now. They have fought twice, but I'm thinking we could do it one more time where Randy Orton, he's facing his own mortality because Gunther is saying, hey, you're almost at the end of your rope too. And they keep alluding that Gunther is the new legend killer, the career killer. So Gunther versus Randy Orton, and Randy Orton, he's mad. He's mad at how much Gunther has been gloating about beating John Cena. So it's a way to keep John Cena's name in everybody's mind, and for Randy Orton to be kind of like the protector of John Cena's legacy right there. Now let's go to let's do AJ Styles. Who's AJ Styles gonna face? He's not retiring here, so I'm putting him against Trick Williams. I did consider Gunther no matter what, but I think Gunther will retire AJ. So who could AJ fight? Let's keep calling some people up, showcase that this is kind of a passing of the torch, WrestleMania-esque, and we can build upon the fact that, who knows, Trick Williams, all he has to do is run down TNA, say how he was a TNA champion and how that was just such a nobody company, and then AJ takes offense to that and he says, hey man, I cut my teeth on that nobody company, and so boom, right there, AJ Styles, Trick Williams. Here we go. But if he does retire, then Trick will face Carmelo Hayes. So that way AJ can go and face Gunther. Hope that all makes sense. It's a bunch of interconnected webs right there. All right, so let's do some women matches. I'm thinking we're gonna do a ladder match. Honestly, I think they should have done this for the first Raw. A viewer actually commented that. I thought that was a great idea, or a TLC match for the women's tag team titles. But no, I think they'll stretch it out, which I think is a mistake. But I think that's what they'll do. We'll have a huge TLC match for the women's tag team title at WrestleMania, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. I say we get somehow, some way, AJ Lee and Paige as one of the tag teams, maybe even the Bellas, Brie and Nikki, and then we have a bunch of other tag teams as well. But so yes, right there. All right, so now let's do Bianca Belair. I say she returns and probably actually even wins the Royal Rumble, and she then goes and faces Jade Cargill. That is a dream match right there. Everybody has wanted to see that match since day one. However, in the meantime, Naomi actually has kind of snuck her way up into the conversation as woo, I want to see that match too. So if Naomi has returned from maternity leave, I could see it being a triple threat. But if she has not returned, then Jade versus Bianca. So those two are going to fight no matter what at Mania. The question here is, will Naomi be a part of that? Because there are very few times where I'm I'd rather see a triple threat than a one-on-one. This would be one of them. Those three have a lot of history together, and I think it would be really, really cool to see that. Then I'm going to throw this out there. Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. Right now, we have a heel Becky Lynch and a face Charlotte Flair. This is Bizarro World, and yet here we are. They tried this in 2018, I think? But yeah, we are here now. I'm thinking it's too good of a possibility to pass up. I'm gonna do it. It could be a grudge match. It could be for the US title. Who knows? Maybe Becky Lynch goes over to Smackdown because she can never win that Intercontinental match. So she goes to the Smackdown to get the US title, and her and Charlotte then somehow cross paths, and boom, those two have had feud after feud after feud. We haven't seen them locked horns since for a very long time, but at War Games, we got a tease of it. And maybe that tease was foreshadowing WrestleMania. Ooh, all right. Liv Morgan. I could also see Liv Morgan winning the Royal Rumble. So maybe Bianca wins the Rumble, Liv wins the Chamber. And then we do Stephanie Vakir versus Liv Morgan. I was kind of hoping Liv Morgan versus Big Mama Cool Raquel Rodriguez, but yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be Liv versus Stephanie Vakir. If we want to make it Liv versus Rhea, though, I don't know. Right now, I got Rhea in the tag team ladder match. I'm thinking that's where we keep her, but yeah, there's a lot of possibilities with Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan can go Stephanie Vakir, Rhea Ripley, or Raquel Rodriguez. But right now, I'm going Stephanie and Liv. I don't think the Kabuki Warriors are going to be in the ladder match because I think they're going to have finally dissolved and broken up. We're going to have one of those moments where Kyrie decides, like, I've taken enough. I can stand only so much, and then she just she splits off. I would love this to be a WrestleMania match. It could even be for the Intercontinental title, right? It could maybe be for the Intercontinental title. But I don't think it'll actually be on WrestleMania. I could see it being on the Raw before WrestleMania or the Raw after WrestleMania because they like to stack those with some pretty big matches as well. So yeah, Kyrie and Asuka, and we'll have that at a Raw. All right, we're almost done. I'm going to say, I don't know. Should it be Dirty Dom versus Rey Mysterio? Or should it be Dirty Dom versus JD McDonough versus Finn Balor? We finally break up. I am going to actually go that route. A triple threat. JD, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio for the title. If we want, we could actually shoehorn Rey Mysterio in there, and it can be like a four corners match. But honestly, I think the story would be better if it was either only versus Rey or versus the Judgment Day for Dirty Dom, but that's how I see that playing out. So I got another triple threat. If we are going to do Naomi, Jade, and Bianca, then this probably won't be a triple threat. But I have Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. Jey Uso, I think we will revisit the storyline of Jey Uso crashing out. I think they probably will either win the tag team titles and lose it real quick, and Jey will just be he'll have had enough and he'll go berserk. And I think at some point, Sammy's going to get involved in that and try to calm Jey down, and Jey is just not going to have any of it. He will alienate everybody, and that will lead to a triple threat, or Jey versus Sammy, and that's it. Who knows? Maybe Jey completely takes out Jimmy, and then Sammy is trying to stick up for Jimmy or something like that. But yes, and this will be the next step in the evolution of the Jey Uso right-hand man, tribal chief, next to come in line. All right, so now we got ourselves the main event. Here we are. I'm hesitant to do this because it means that Seth has to be back in time. But if anybody could be back in time, it would be Seth Rollins. And so I'm saying Seth versus CM Punk. Seth versus CM Punk. I would actually rather it be CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre, or CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, but whatever the case may be, I do see Seth, Punk. Yeah, we finally get that WrestleMania blow-off. Their feud has been super hot, then it kind of gets a little boring, and then it gets hot again, and then kind of boring, but here we are, and then Seth can win, or Seth will probably lose, or whatever, and then he'll go and finish up his business with the Vision, but right off the bat, he's going to come at CM Punk, and we can wrap that up, which then leads to the main event, Night 2, WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes. He will fight the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. I say Roman wins the Rumble. He goes on to face, he picks Cody Rhodes. We get Cody versus Roman Reigns 3 at WrestleMania 42. They've already kind of started beefing at War Games, and I think that beef just continues on and just gets worse and worse and worse, and here we go. All right, boys, all right, girls, that's it. Those are your WrestleMania 42 predictions. In the comments below, let me know some of the matches you want to see or you predict that we will see. Have a good day.